Coach, we will just start off with a just general thoughts on this upcoming season before we get into questions.
Our staff and players are really excited about the great mix of returners and newcomers that we have on the roster this season. We finally have the depth that we've been trying to pursue. We have an inside game. We have some speed and quickness. We have some more skill that we've been able to put together. And for the first time, we feel like that we have what it takes to put us in a position to compete.
We'll start first with Steve Springer. If you want to go with your question, anybody else that has one, just put in the chat for me.
Good morning, Coach. You talked about the schedule the other day a little bit, but it wasn't quite set. I just want to get your feelings on the schedule now that you know pretty much what's going to happen this year.
Well, anytime you're able to play a team like Kentucky to start the year, it brings a lot of excitement, brings on a huge challenge. They're exceptionally good this year, so we know going into that game without having any exhibitions or scrimmages that, you know, our backs are going to be against the wall, but it's more going to be more about us than it is about Kentucky, but that's an exciting game. And then we feel like our other 4 non-conference games are going to put us in position to play against teams that are going to mimic OVC teams that we'll play. And that was part of the process of trying to put together the other 4 games, is to give us different ways of playing basketball and ways that we're going to have to adjust to playing quickness or playing skill. And so we think the schedule that we put together is going to be very challenging, but it's going to allow us to be ready for conference play.
Anybody else that has a question, just let me know down there in the chat, and we will call on you. We'll go next to Neil Bradley.
Coach, give us an update on maybe how close you are to being ready for the season. I know it's been a different season, but I don't want to get into the Will Aubrey name your starting lineup kind of thing, but how close are you to maybe having the players that you want to have ready to go for opening night?
Well, we're getting there. Practices have been very competitive. It's been one thing that I've loved about this team is they go after each other every single day, but very supportive and close-knit group. You know, we're ready to play someone else, just like everyone else has said. Practice has been longer, so we've had more time to get things in. We're just spending time trying to fine-tune the things that we want to be really good at. We've cut down our practice time, so we're not going as long for these next couple of weeks to save legs and get players ready and maybe do some individual skill work and some shooting. But we're going to have a pretty deep rotation, and I believe that there's a possibility that lineups will change depending on who we're playing. There's going to be nights that we need more speed. There might be nights that we need to be a little bit bigger on the court. So I think that the starting lineup may be a rotation, but we're going to feel like that we have about 9 or 10 kids that can earn some time.
Go next to Edward Marlowe, and then Jeff after that.
Coach, good morning. I know obviously this is an unprecedented year, you know, where you have a lot of opportunity to do some different things, but how will you take advantage of an extra year of eligibility, especially with, you know, newcomers in this freshman and this junior college class?
That's a great question, but it's a question that's really too early to be answered. I mean, we're going to have conversations with each player. We've had some of those conversations because obviously that will trigger what we need in recruiting, but right now we're just trying to focus on the moment. I mean, each and every day we just go out and we know to give our all because we may not practice again the next day depending on, you know, what COVID does to us. So we're just considering every day a blessing. Obviously we have kids on this team that want to play basketball here as long as they can, but it's going to depend on their health, and it's also going to depend on what's best for the program. So they all understand that. That's our we over me mentality. But we're just going to try to focus on the right now, and we'll deal with the extra year of eligibility and what's best for each player individually at the end of the season.
And then Jeff, if you'd like to go.
Rechelle, in terms of scheduling, and I know Matt has said that this was just an ever-loving nightmare the last month or so, everybody's scrambling to get in the next 2 weeks. What was it like for you just trying to find those 5 games? And did you ever kick around playing in an MTE, or was it just you knew you were playing 5 and that was where you were?
We pretty much knew we were playing 5, and that's where we were. We weren't in a position with the games that we knew we could keep to really get in a tournament. We would have loved to have played more games, obviously, but the people that we're playing have good relationships with the coaching staff, and we were able to move some stuff around. I think our schedule next year will be affected as much by what's happened this year as anything, because some games had to get moved. And we were already in discussions of starting series with new teams and things like that. So there's a lot of work to be done moving forward to make sure we fulfill obligations and other teams fulfill obligations to us contract-wise. But I was really excited about what we were able to get done, because I do think it's a great mix of teams, and it's going to be a very competitive non-conference schedule with us. Without the ability to get any non-D1s on our schedule, we know that we are going to have to be ready to compete at our highest level each night. But that's what prepares you for conference play, and that's what matters.
Alexis Berpo made such a leap last year, now into an all-league player. What have you seen, I guess, grow for her the most since she walked onto campus to where she is now, and obviously still has plenty of time to keep growing?
Well, Alexis is I'll do whatever you need me to do, coach, type player. And last year with the injuries, she played point for us, which is not her natural position. So the ability to put her back in her natural position where she can attack the basket, where she can create for others, has been beneficial to what we see as scoring efficiency so far in practice this year, because she's able to make a lot of things happen off the dribble. Her shooting has improved. And she's a great rebounder, so she's in a better position to be successful. And that's the whole thing as coaching staff. We want to put each kid that we have in the best position possible to be successful, both offensively and defensively. And the depth that we have and the ability to fill the positions that we need has allowed Alexis to play her game.
Last one, just for a former player of yours at Murray High, whose career is wrapping up. I asked Maddie if she had any interest in coaching down the line. She said at a time it was absolutely not, and she's sort of come around on that, even coaching high school. How do you think Maddie Waldrop would do as a high school basketball coach?
Well, Maddie Waldrop would do outstanding at anything Maddie decided to do. I mean, she's just a second-to-none young lady. Just so proud of her. It's a different situation, obviously, because she plays in our same league, so I have to be careful sometimes about the things that I say. But anybody that knows Maddie and mine relationship, I've been there for her for day one. She's been there for me, and that's never going to change. But Maddie's just a unique kid in the fact that she is such a leader. But not only is she a leader, she also has the ability to be a game changer. I mean, her making all-conference in the end of last year, being on preseason all-conference team, just says so much about her. And anybody you ask, everybody loves Maddie because she's that type of kid. But I think that there would be a lot of young girls that would be very blessed if Maddie decided to coach. And I have no doubt that she can do it, because I was listening to her before I came on, and she mentioned patience. Well, I'm 25 years in, and I'm still working on the patience. So I think she'll be just fine.
Thank you.
We got plenty of time for follow-up questions, so if anybody has one, just let me know in the chat. Neil, I believe you have one.
Yeah, Coach, I know your team in the preseason poll, those don't really mean a lot, but was picked 8th. Did your team have any reaction to that, or do they pay no attention to those polls?
No, it seems that we live there. We live at 8th, but that's what we deserve at this point and what we've been able to do. So we just take it on as a challenge. There are so many good teams in this league that I don't think being 8th can be considered anything negative, because there's so many good players. The teams have so much depth. I've been watching OVC basketball and following it for a long time, even though I haven't been coaching at this level long. And this may be as deep of a conference as we've had. Lots of great coaches. They do an outstanding job recruiting battles all the time for the same top players. So, we just take it as a challenge, and we've talked about it. We've discussed it, and we're not anywhere near satisfied with where this program is. My staff has done an outstanding job of putting this roster together. So if we do not make jumps and we do not make improvements and we are not putting ourselves in position to be a challenger, then that's totally on me, because the kids are doing what they need to do. My staff has done a great job, but we're ready to take that step. And I do feel like that we have the talent and the culture has finally met together, and it's high, and we should be able to do some things this year that maybe we haven't been able to do in the past.
Ed has a follow-up question. If anybody else has one, just let me know in the chat.
Coach, I want to take us back just a little bit to 2015-16, that special year with the Murray Lady Tigers. I know that was a while ago, but seeing Maddie, come into her senior year, and the other young women that were on that team, and now 5 years later, can you talk to me about or explain maybe how life plans maybe come together, but then all of a sudden everything changes in a much different way? Like 5 years ago, did you see yourself and these young women from Brittany Lawson all the way to Maddie Waldrop in this position in the OVC?
No, not at all. I mean, it was God's plan, for sure. I had never really thought about the college game much. I was so locked in to building and keeping our program at Murray High School to where it was. But I think it's evident why I have this job. It has nothing to do with my coaching. Look at all the talent that I had to work with. I mean, good players make good coaches. That's the bottom line. I believe that. But I have 3 players that played during that last era of mine that are on all OVC preseason polls at Division I schools. All 3 have had outstanding careers. And then you throw Lex in that plays for us also, that's been a big part of what we're doing and continues to be a big part, and I think she'll have a breakout year this year. And then we are able to have Brittany Lawson and even Mallory Stone as managers. So, it is all about family here, and I'm so appreciative of what all the players did for me over the years, and it's because of them and all the coaches and administration that I had lead me that has allowed me to be blessed and have this job. So I'm thankful every single day for the opportunity. I love the fact that get to share this time, with people that we love. But I just love this team. I look forward to coming to work every day. I look forward to coming to practice. They are great kids. They are great ambassadors for our university. They're great students, and they're just a lot of fun to be around. That's one thing I can say that COVID has brought is our time we've spent together. And the things that we've had to overcome together and the adversity that we've already gone through has made us closer. My staff is outstanding, and I just love this team, and I want them to do well. They deserve it. They have put a lot of time and effort into building this and continuing to improve. And so, more than anything, I just want them to be successful because I feel like that the work's been put in.
If you have a question for Rechelle, just let me know in the chat. Coach, I wanted to ask you about what you said at the very end and how it's the pandemic sort of brought you all closer together. And just a little bit, you maybe missed out on some summer workouts and things like that, but the mental health was obviously important for the players while they are away too. Can you talk about that and everybody helping out each other while they weren't necessarily physically together?
Absolutely. We did a lot of Zooms like everybody else, and we had some people join us on the Zooms to help with different things. We spent a lot of time focusing on trying to mentally prepare for what it was going to be like just as much as physically. And, we have a character coach and culture connection each week that's built into our program. So we've had people come in and talk to our players from anything from social justice to, getting everybody prepared to vote, to how you mentally prepare yourself to play games that in the back of your mind you're not sure you're even going to play. So we've been able to spend a lot of time together. Our players have done an outstanding job of staying healthy. Again, some people say that may be a blessing or a curse because going forward, we know that, one positive will knock us out. But our kids have just been great, and going to class, getting it done in the classroom, getting it done on the court, and just outstanding selflessness that we have seen from this team from the time they arrived on campus in July to now. I just couldn't be more proud of how they've handled the situation, and they've definitely helped me be able to handle it better because of the way they've been mature and the way that they have helped lead this basketball team, and I just follow their lead.
Anybody else got a question for Coach? Got one more, then we'll transition. Just we're going to have Lacey Hawthorne shortly. Can you just speak a little bit about her and what she did last year for your team?
Yeah, Lacey was outstanding for our team last year. I thought she really made great strides as the year went on. Pretty much averaged a double-double and was newcomer of the year. I mean, 11 or 12 times, or excuse me, newcomer of the week 11 or 12 times. So I just think that says a lot about her. I know going into this season, she wants to prove herself. She wants to expand her game. She's been working extremely hard, putting a lot of time in outside of practice. Gonna work hard for us every single day. She's a great rebounder. She brings so much energy to our team, and I expect her to really step out and have a big season. Looking forward to seeing what she can do, especially now that she has some help in the post.